Across the Flow FM network, a Flow News 24 update.
Now, there's one bigger article at a worldwide level that I think has got a massive impact on people in terms of feeding the hungry around the earth, and this is with the Black Sea and the deal for Russia to allow the ships out of the Crimean ports, Sebastopol, and also along the coast of the Ukraine through the Black Sea. This is a deadline that Russia has had today, and we know that the 17th day of July is the D-Day for this particular issue of wheat leaving the Black Sea ports. It is apparent that on your article this morning, the last ship is bound out of the Black Sea, and that Russia will need to renegotiate with NATO and others as to the port arrangements.
Look, it's a really important one, Wayne. This deal expires. Let's go back a little bit. Ukraine is a food bowl. There are still farmers in Ukraine, and guess what? They're still farming right now.
Yeah.
Even though there is a war happening, there is still grain being produced. There's still crops being grown. There's still stuff in the soil that is still happening. And we've got to remember, Ukraine is a food bowl. This is one of the reasons I think why Russia would like to try and regain some of Ukraine, because they've got a lot of snow in Russia, and they'd like some of the food bowl to come back their way. And I think it's a really important thing to note here that if this deal isn't renegotiated, we're not going to be able to get food through that Black Sea port. That's going to be really important. The Black Sea is a huge part of making sure we can get food around the world. And I think, as I understand, some of these countries that are accepting Ukrainian grain would be from Israel. I understand they accept it. So what happens, I guess, it has an effect here for Australia as well. If they can't get a deal renegotiated with Russia and NATO and the Ukraine and get something back in place, the food that we're producing here in Australia may end up going to those places that were once accepting it from Ukraine. And
a lot of it's price pointed too. It may be more cost to ship Australian grain into Africa to needy nations, to Kenya, then in from Mombasa through into Somalia and the Sudan. That then creates the issue of hungry people, and that creates the issue of war in those African nations. And so this is a major deal that needs to be done today, and Russia has not agreed to continue with this deal at this stage after brokering it 12 months ago with the UN Turkey back in July 2022. So we wait with a lot of interest today. That story on flownews24.com.au. A Flow News 24 update.